Hi everyone, and thank you for joining again. In this video I will show you how you can make this cute little bag here. This is the back side. This is the front. This is how it looks on the inside. I haven't finished the lining yet. And the measures. Then in height. So and this is the yarn I work with. I didn't need the whole skein, but in the end I will show you what I had left over of it. And additionally to that you need a lock and the two D-rings. And as usual, everything you need is linked in the video description. So we start the bag with 30 chains. First we make our slip knot like this, and then we make 30 chains. So now, starting in the second chain from the hook, we go back all the way with single crochet. And the next one. And so on. At the end of the row, this is how our bag should look like. And to go on with the next row, we chain one, turn around, and go back again with single crochet. When you finish the row, you chain 1 again, turn around and again go back with single crochet. And in total you will make 56 rows. So this is how it should look like then. 56 rows. And then we will go on by crocheting 1 row all around it. We will chain 1 here, and then you have these upper loops here, this one here, and we will make the next single crochet here. Then you have these lower loops in the middle of the upper loops. And you poke in below them to make the next single crochet. Then you have the next upper loop here. And the next lower loop. And this is how you go on for the whole side. So I reached the lower side now and quickly show you how you have to go on here. Just poke in this loop here on the edge, single crochet, and then just go on in these loops here that used to be our foundation chain. Well, it still is our foundation chain. And we just go on here with single crochet. And you have a nice edge here. On this side, you will again have the upper loops here and these lower loops here that we already had on the first side. So when you finished this whole part, you will do the following. I already cut the thread, a long part of the thread, and pulled it through, and we will now make what I call a fake stitch. You poke below the next chain stitch, the next stitch, not chain stitch. Pull the thread through below. And you can perfectly see how long I cut it. and then you bring it back to the middle of our last stitch here. So this is how we pulled it through below, and now bring it back in the middle of the last stitch here. And you have a nice edge on all sides. So now we always count for our X pattern. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, 1 and 5 are always the same hole. So you can also count your stitches first. We will work left and right in this row, or left and right of the horizontal threads here, and in this row. One, 2, 5, and then you go 3 of these horizontal thread rows down from this perspective and pull it through there. So 5 holes between these horizontal threads to the left from this perspective, and then 3 of these horizontal rows down. So this is our first line of the X. Then you pull it through here, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through this hole here to build an X. So, and that's it. This is the first X. Then you count again, 5 to the side. But remember, hole 1 and hole 5 are the same, which means that we pull the thread through the same hole like the last X, like this. Then up there. And then in the next step, you can decide if you place the thread below or above the already existing thread there, like this, or just go under this thread. In the end, that will make slightly different patterns. So this is how the first row should look like. You count always 5. 1 and 5 are the same hole, and so on. As you can see here, the X's are worked in the same hole, like this. When we count the horizontal rows, always these horizontal rows with the horizontal threads in the middle, we always count 3. 1, 2, 3, like this. So the X rows are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, that means row 3 and row 1 are also the same, so that the second row is also worked in the same hole, like this. And when you finished this whole part, this is how it should look like. This is the inside. I made sure that I didn't have any yarn ends in the area of the top. And when I ran out of thread in this area, I used the thread to bring it down here and sew it in here, because this is the lower part of the bag where you can hide the threads better. So this is how it should look like. And now only the sides are missing. Before we go on with the sides, I just wanted to show this here again. This is how you end the row. So you end the pattern in the single crochet row that we made once all around the bag. So there is no thicker edge like on the top side. Okay, let's go on with sides. For the sides, we start with a slip knot again. Then we chain 7, like this. And again, starting in the second chain from the hook, we go back with single crochet. So that means we have 6 single crochet per row. At the end of the row, you chain 1, turn around and go back with single crochet again. And you go on like this until you have 16 rows in total. So chain 7, starting from the second chain of the hook, make 6 single crochet. At the end of each row, chain 1, and then make 16 rows in total. This is how the side should look like then. I already cut the thread again, pulled it through, and as you can see, I again left a long part of the thread here. And to fix the side, there are 2 different techniques. I will show you both of them, and then you can decide which one you like to make. And in the end, you just sew on the D-ring with a few stitches, like here. So, first of all, you place the side like this and see where you have, in which stitch you have to start to fix it. Just like this. This is the area I need. And then there are two different techniques, like I said. One where you see this little edge here and one where you don't see it. We start with the first technique, and for this technique you use these little loops here. It's a little tricky to poke below them. Like this. And then you pull the thread through below this little loop. This wasn't pretty well on camera, but we will repeat it a few times. So again, this is the loop we need. Poke below it. As I said, this is a little tricky to go below this loop, so I will show you a second technique as well. Then again, just pull the thread through. And for this part, you again have this upper loops here and lower loops. We already know them from working once around the back. And these are the very same loops that we use for this part as well. And pull the thread through here. Then again, to turn around here. Use this lower loop here. Pull the thread through. And so on. So if you get a little used to the loops that you need to use for sewing the parts together, you can of course try to poke below both of them at once. and then just pull the thread through both of them. That will make it a little quicker, like this. And this is how you go on for the rest of the side. And in the end, as I said, you just sew on the D-ring with a few stitches. So, as I said, there's a second technique that I will show you, because to be honest, this first technique annoyed me halfway through, so I changed the technique on the other side and will repeat it here as well, because this technique now is much easier than the other one. On the part of the side, we again need these lower loops and upper loops, and then we just poke through the middle of the single crochet here, like this. So we do not go below this side loops, if you would like to describe them like that, but we just use the single crochet. So it's much easier, much faster, but of course you don't have this cute little edge anymore that you have on the front side. Then again, you can see here, I just poke through the single crochet on the side part, poke through the upper loop, then take the thread and pull it through. And that's it. That's the easy technique. Then again, lower loop, poke in this lower loop, then poke in the middle of the single crochet, and pull the thread through. And when finishing it, you just bring the thread to this area here and sew a few stitches around the D-ring. So this is the lock that I chose. It has two different parts, the upper part and the lower part. To fix the upper part, you just squeeze it on the sides and then you fix the screws that are delivered with it. And the lower part, just poke in the bottom of your bag, and then you have these little metal spikes, maybe. This is how you call them. Just poke them through and then bend them around on the inside, and the lower part is fixed as well. If you don't have a screwdriver for such little screws, then make sure to use a lock like this one here. For example, I will link it as well, because you just push it on the side and then squeeze it together, and it will be fixed like this. So both locks look very good on this bag. And that's it. This is the handbag. And as I said in the beginning, I will show you the leftover. So this is what I have left of one skein, I don't know the pronunciation. So, but this is my leftover. I hope you liked the tutorial, and if yes, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.